Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hey, there's some friendly faces.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Hello to everyone. Thanks for coming.
It's a party now.
At last, a party. Been waiting for
Roy,
one
good to
all
see you
day.
again. It
Hello,
seems like
Meadowlarkers.
I only saw you 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's been 2 days, long days, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Good to see you, Roy.
Same here, Lindsay.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Bart. Hey, Julie. Hi, everyone.
Hey,
Hi,
Bart.
Lens.
Hey. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Thank you all for your patience as we worked out some technical difficulties. You know how it goes with Zoom. It's been a while since we've all been on one of these virtual events, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah,
So I'm glad that we all made it. I'm glad that you chose to spend your Thursday night with us. I am going to give you a few little announcements and then we're gonna roll right into it. Sound good?
great.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to mute everyone in case anything like a train passing happens or you sneeze a bunch. So if you would like to unmute at the end when we do our Q&A, you're welcome to. In the meantime, if you could please put your messages in the chat box, that would be great. And a reminder that that is at the bottom. You'll see a row of different actions and you can hit chat and pop things in the chat box. I have already put the order link to Traces of the Holy in the chat box for you. So go ahead and get yourself a copy while we're going through these announcements. Um, if you need something at some point, down on that bottom row of things is also a thing that says react with a little heart. If you click that, you have the option to raise your hand or use these cute little emojis to react to certain poems, and I encourage you to use those so we can feel like there's some engagement with these poems as we read them. And then at the end, if you want to use the raise your hand function for your question, you're welcome to do that as well. Otherwise, I will just keep an eye out for your hand raised. Okay, we are going to read from Arlice's new book, Traces of the Holy. I forgot to grab my new copy, but this is my print proof, which I love
I've got
so
a new
much.
copy here.
Oh, good, good. If
That
anybody
showing
else,
up?
yes, it looks beautiful with a
Okay.
Norman Carr painting on the front again.
Right, exactly.
Great, and Arliss will tell us more about that too. If you do not yet follow Meadowlark Press on Facebook or Instagram or via newsletter, please do so. Just go to meadowlarkbookstore.com and you can find all of the important Meadowlark details. But I will also include our Facebook and Instagram names in the chat box for you. Perfect. We also have a few special guest readers tonight that Arliss will introduce to all of you. So we're going to share in the poems, and we have a little slideshow to go with the poems for you, and then we will open the floor for a Q&A. So, are there any questions so far? Excellent. You're very good students. I am going to tell you about the man of the hour. Arlice W. Davenport is the author of 5 full-length books of poetry and 3 chapbooks. All have been published by Meadowlark Press or Meadowlark Poetry Press here in Emporia, Kansas. His academic background includes degrees in philosophy, literature, French, and religious studies, along with a concentration of work in art history. He and Norman Carr, whose abstract paintings have adorned the covers of Davenport's most recent books, have been friends for more than 40 years, traveling together internationally, along with Davenport's wife, Laura. Arliss and Laura live in Wichita, Kansas. Please join me in welcoming Arliss. And I will go ahead and unmute you, Arliss. Oh, one sec. Still muted. Classic Zoom. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Arliss, would you like to say a few words about this book and about the poems that you're going to hear tonight?
Sure. This is my fifth book, as Lindsay said, and I intend for it to be my final book. So I'm honored that you all would show up for this, and we'll just add to our memories of Zoom book launches, which always seem to have a technical glitch, but we overcame it today. Uh, well, I'll introduce the readers in just a moment. I want to say a word about the poems that I will read later. When I was shuffling through my papers trying to collect 10 good poems to be read tonight, I was going to focus on poetic voice. I've been experimenting with that a lot lately, and many of these poems exemplify that. Uh, but when I finally, the dust settled and I had 10 good options, I noticed that there was a pattern there that I hadn't intended. There are lots that you'll hear lots of references to the sky, to paths that we walk through life, um, to nature, of course, which I'm very big on natural imagery, and surprising to me, my own family. So when we get to that, you can just kind of keep those notions in your head as we're moving along. Now, we've got a great lineup of readers, and Lindsay will lead us off. And I think you all know who she is, but I'll just say a few words about her. She's the editor of Meadowlark Poetry Press, and she's like the sister I never had, which means we squabble a lot. No, I'm joking. We don't. We get along well. She's a great editor, and she's always 100% positive and upbeat. I don't know how she does it, but she always brings a smile to my face. And I have utmost confidence in her editing and her suggestions, which have always improved my books. After she reads, there's Tom Schaefer, who is one of my lifelong friends. He's a fellow poet, also, and he has been a newspaper columnist and editor. And while I was at the Eagle, I was privileged to edit his religion columns, which were excellent and eventually compiled into a book. After him is Lois Carr. She's the wife of Norman Carr, the painter, who's done so much to enliven the covers of my book. We've known her forever, and she is a very smart woman and will do a great job reading. And I'm so happy that she's here. Then we move to the great Roy Beckemeyer. He is what I call the godfather of Kansas poetry. He's a shining light in poetry in our state, and he's a great friend of mine, and we meet each month to solve the world's problems. We're now on problem two, but we'll keep at it. I have the utmost respect for Roy, and I'm so happy that he will be able to read. And then, last but not least, is Mallory Malone, my brand new neighbor, and her husband Baptiste from Marseille, France. They just moved in a couple of months ago, and we've got acquainted with them. And I walk in the morning with their husband. She's in the MFA program at Wichita State in creative writing, fiction, but she wanted to dip her toes into poetry tonight. So I'm so happy that she's done that. And then after that, you'll have to put up with me. And at the end, Lindsay will give us the sign off for that part of the program. So that's it. And again, I thank you all. It's an honor to see you out there. And I hope you enjoy this. If you don't, just kind of stifle the yawns as we go along. That would be very courteous.
Thanks, Arlice. That was great. And
Yeah.
thanks for the kind introduction.
Oh,
And
you're welcome. Everyone's
I
welcome.
I've had the privilege of working with Natalie Wolf as a co-editor for this collection. Hey, Natalie. Natalie served as our editorial summer intern, and I had a great time working with her. And yeah, we're
Yeah, she
excited to
made
see
some
this
good
book.
contributions to the book too, editing contributions and other suggestions. So you should
Cool.
hire her.
We're trying.
Oh, okay, good.
We have to sell a lot of books so we can hire her.
Right, there you go.
So, everybody get on it. Okay, I am going to share my screen with you, and we have some images to go along with these poems. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Excellent. We are going to start off with the rain in the trees. I find myself in the city library. I wander the stacks in search of nothing but poetry. I am guided to W.S. Merwin, a poet unknown to me. I finger the spine of the rain in the trees, open the book at random. I devour the poem on an odd-numbered page. It is sublime, weep-inducing. I think this is how I must write. These are my poems in waiting. I live with the book for weeks, my constant companion. It annihilates my voix, picking apart each poem like pieces of lint. Soon the rain falls on me, washing away the grit of my existential grind. What I wish to say in my poetry remains unknown. The rain in the trees washes clean my self-indulgence, rinses away the dirt of ambition. Am I a poet? Who decides? Years later, I interview Merwin by phone. He is charming, lively, as warm as an old friend, as full of anecdotes about Pound and Lowell as an ancient mariner. Privileged, he learned from the best. He rose on their wings, watched their feathers fall. I have not seen him, but I have loved him. His death was like a frigid shock, unexpected but as natural as the rain in the trees. I climb the maple in my yard. Its thick limbs support my weight. I carry the rain in the trees with me. It still breaks my fall. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Lindsay. Very nice.
Now, on to the next poet.
Tom Schaefer.
Let's see, Tom. We'll get you unmuted. There we go.
I think we're good. Love never dies. Love never dies. Its body is the other, whom we can never reach. We cradle it in our mind, caress its imaginary flesh, then preserve it as Caritas, fixing it forever above the stars. Love never dies. The beloved swirls around the center of our wills, teasing out obedience to her beauty, which washes over us like a mountain stream. Her voluptuous body mesmerizes, tempting us with eros and promises of endless joy. Love never dies. It races like atrial fibrillation across our hollow chests, soars over every limit to desire, rips away each sluggish shred of doubt, renews the quick and the dead, traces a lineage of ecstasy and longing. We will never shake off its brilliance and endless allure.
Very nice, Tom. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You help bring the poem to life.
I was struck by that. I was reading through his book and this new book, and I don't know, I lighted on that one because it seemed to speak of a love that's deeper than we often realize in our own lives.
Good insight.
Poem 2.
Poem 2.
The Poet of Lost Causes. I peel back a corner of the sky, galaxies dance or sit out the walls. Every new day glides into the next, sparks spawn novas. When I composed my first poem, I was subject object, creator, only the self matter, caught in an orbit of ambition and dread. I have advanced to the halls of being, both here and beyond, ever present and vanishing into vacant pages of unborn poems. Now I spill gallons of words and signs the burgeoning poet of lost causes, of growth and depth and decay, stealing stars along the way of the dead.
Good job, Tom. I'm glad you picked that poem. I really like that as well.
The journey of a poet.
Yes, it is. All right, who's up next? Let me get my list here. All right, this is Lois Carr, a longtime friend, as I said, and a very good reader. So she has two poems of her own to read. Thank you, Lois, for being here.
All right, should be good to go, Lois.
Okay. The first poem is Crossroads. At last, at this cold crossroads, I search for a faded sign pointing to paradise. Broken, it bobs in the wind, a signifier without significance. Left, right, ahead, I squirm with uncertainty. My steps, the path to the future, they leave no trace, no face to recognize as my own. I reach for the hand of my guide, but he has vanished in the woods. A shadow kingdom teeming with dapples of light, but no clear way forward, no trail home. Paralyzed with uncertainty, I nudge myself onward, my gait straight as virtue. Now in the midst of turmoil, I trust the inward light of poetry. Verse radiates the heat of the sun.
Thank you. Very good rendition.
The second is this blue-green rock. I climb the golden chain that holds the world in place. It stretches beyond me, an infinite umbilical cord. To bear my weight, each link strains against the next, the pressure of the cosmos, the burden of being. From this pinnacle, I behold the minute machinations of other planets. Oh, how they spin. Oh, how they fly. Atlas shrugs and the globe lands in my lap, squirming like an infant, impatient to move, to feed, to thrive. I search for the red dot that marks my spot on Earth, a cave buried beneath the sea. Waters wash over me, marooned on this blue-green rock, pushing ever upward to wrap the golden chain around me.
Thank you. Very nice reading. And a good poem, too, whoever wrote it.
Thanks, Lois.
All right, next, the great Roy Beckemeyer, who's gracing us with his presence tonight. Take it away, Roy.
Okay, after that introduction, I can't make any mistakes, can I?
I make them, so don't worry.
This first poem I'm going to read, Other Worlds, I chose primarily because I thought it encompassed something really important in this book, whose chapters are aligned with finding traces of the holy in yourself, in the world, and so on. Because even though it's entitled Other Worlds, I find it immersing the poet and the reader in those worlds and the world within them. So it has a lot of there's a lot to think about in a lot of different directions that you can assume it goes. And then I'll have a little comment about the final two lines of the poem after I read it. Other worlds. My verses weep to commune with other worlds, other words of other poets who drink blue wine buoyant in the chalice, who pin couplets onto sestinas, stitch similes into stanzas, who climb the dark rungs of being as imagery morphs into metaphor. This is that, that is this. I pull on a fedora and woolen overcoat, prop my collar against the gale. When did existence turn so chilling? When will solitary lips lock in a kiss of innocence lost, innocence regained? Spirit is universal. It warms us each night in this fragile sack of skin. With it, I can feel how deeply another dies, how our roots mesh like screens patched into broken down doors. Don't let them slam shut. Don't let poverty of faith shame you. Somewhere you'll find a beatitude. Spirit is all we have. That and the freedom to weep over the furthest reaches of tragedy, sprouting like blue veins atop an old man's hands. Let us celebrate the freedom to cry, yes, yes, to inhabit other worlds, to climb the wall of meaning before kicking away our ladder to the sun.
Wow, thank you. Um, very good reading that made me see my poem or hear my poem in a new light. Uh, it seems profounder than I thought it was. So thanks to your reading for that.
Well, it seemed very profound to me, and I really loved a lot of. There are a lot of things I love in this poem, but one of the things was the final two lines to climb the wall of meaning before kicking away our ladder to the sun. It has this ambiguity of meaning. It could mean uh, you're giving up trying to gain the sun, so you're kicking the ladder away, but it also has the meaning that you no longer need the ladder to achieve the sun. So uh, I always like poems that have that sort of uh, variety of meanings embedded within what it appears to say. The second poem I chose was The Harmony of Sky. And how could anyone who lives in Kansas not like a poem titled The Harmony of Sky? You could write a poem about the force of failure, how it blows down the hut you huddled in, how the mud walls you smoothed crumble in the wind. But the pink dawn hails your choice to walk free, to soak up the peace of forests, the harmony of sky, the color of the earth's new turning. Transform your pen into a brush. Paint the face you deserve. Don't forget the wrinkles and spots. Claim the beauty that is yours. Recovery swims in the darkest well. Let it splash you with hope. Let it cradle you in love.
Thank you so much. A great reading. I all these metaphors and imagery that I come up with, conjure up, just kind of reverberate in my head for a long time. And now when I hear someone else grasp them and give them voice, uh, I have a new appreciation for what I've done, but I can't really claim credit for it because it comes from the other, which is what I've always said about poems. The meaning isn't settled until the reader or hearer clamps down on an option for themselves. So this reading proved that axiom. Thank you again.
Thanks for the opportunity, Arlice.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. Now we turn to my great neighbor, Mallory Malone. Um, as I said, she's working on an MFA in fiction, and I try to persuade her that poetry is a greater genre, but somehow she's not convinced. But I'm honored to have her here tonight to read two poems of her own, so her own choosing. So thank you, Mallory, and you're up.
Thank you, Arliss. Thank you for the lovely introduction, for the opportunity to sit with some of your really beautiful poems. Like I with this past semester, sitting with fiction in long form for so long, it's so refreshing to read these beautiful pages that have so much meaning and feeling and beauty in them, uh, in such a short space. So I've really appreciated that. But
Oh, you're more than welcome.
yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with to walk or rest. We look back along the road to immortality. Ravines and rivers block our way. An ankle turns, a knee goes out. We smear balm on aging bones. Nightingales sing, the rains begin. One more step and our goal recedes. To walk or rest is all the same.
Very good.
Hard to choose just two, but this was the other one that really spoke to me as well. How to write a poem. First, build a fire. Be renewed by its warmth. Watch the smoke rise, a deep gray calligraphy. The wind scoots letters into the shape of your name. Find a piece of charcoal. Fill in the blank spaces of smoldering earth. Draw an image. Add color and dimension. Outline it in ashes. Scatter them once you are sure you will not forget their shape. Think of Ahab and the whale. The white sheet of paper in your mind has done more than amputate your leg. It taunts you to make something out of nothing, to alchemize your image into words that will sink into the viscera of your being, taking on form like a fledgling, falling to earth from a nest high above. Soon the words will flow like currents of air, they float on the unseen. Stir the depths of your imagination, spur you to risk your reputation, pour les mots justes, for the perfect phrase that resonates with the fire of the sun. Blow the smoke into the form of another great white whale. Take aim at its broad back, tattooed with stanzas. Read the first lines, then fling your harpoon into the dark.
Great reading. Great. You gave it a lot of drama, which really enriches it. So I appreciate that and thank you. All right, Lindsay, I guess it's going to be my turn, unless you have something more to add yourself.
It's your turn. This is going wonderfully. Thank you all for reading.
Yes, thank you all. Now, I talked a little bit about these poems at the outset. I just want to say a couple of more things. You know, I talked about how my subconscious mind filtered my many poems down to these 10. Uh, but you'll see, and you've heard in these previous poems that they are filled with what I call existential gravitas. They're very serious poems, and uh, perhaps that translates into a negative feeling for the hearer. But my hope is that you can take inspiration and joy away from them and be able in the end to make your own world a little more poetic. So I'm going to begin with ascent. And Be glad that it's one of the shorter poems that I have to read. My hand punctures a cloud, tickles the glimmer of stars, glitter dapples my thumb, burns like wildfire up my arm. How high we climb on the wings of art, how low we stoop to scoop flecks of gold, our miner's pan swills with hope. Somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, streams splash against stone, burrow through meadows, wash the sludge of life from a hiker's boots. I step past the wildflowers, pick the brightest one, climb to the plateau of contemplation. One false move, and all images collapse. I ride the cloud into burning light. A lot of my obsession with the sky has to do with the notion of transcendence, and most cultures find that the sky contains the divine in one form or another. And as Roy said, we've got a lot of sky here that can contain a lot of meaning if we seek it in the right way. All right, number two is I cast my lot with the infinite sky. I told you there was a lot of sky here. Um, Here we go. I dive into the distance of the day. It stretches beyond the end of the meadow, absorbed in light. Honeysuckle perfumes my path. Here in the gypsum hills, I cast my lot with the infinite sky. It embraces my lonely stance. Though mute, it speaks to me as a long lost son. Do I recognize its diction? Do I feel its open gift? The wave caves in on itself. I surface and breathe. Next is one of my favorite poems. It's called Stones. It's about my father and his death. As I said, I was surprised to find poems relating to family members, but this is one that I like very much. Stones. My father's legacy dies within me. I carry his book of rules like a coffin with no lid, a long gray wooden rectangle full of admonition and praise, phrases spilling out like stones splashed with symbols and ciphers. Stones stacked to heights below my grasp, staging the play of ancient axioms. Do, don't, resist. Ahead, the future, rife with signs. Go, stop, resist. Resist the emptiness of death, the ephemera of memory. Carry stones like sin. Pray for mercy, forgiveness. Carry his legacy like iron in the soul. Weight of sorrow and disbelief, weight of anguish and grief. Nothing good dies within me. I'll be passing a plate at the end of the reading if you'd like to contribute. Okay, the next one is a much longer poem. It has to do with my brother who died all too young. Some of the imagery is embellished, but the thrust of this is genuine and authentic. No regrets. One, I rise early, escape the house. The air is cool, clear, untouched. Warmth stirs, rises, and retreats. It will arrive full force mid-afternoon. In the distance, a blue mirage of mountains wraps around my grandparents' farm. Cornfields tower over me, cover my path eastward. Another step, and I will reach the clearing. No one else stirs until birds whistle and cry. And so the day begins, without pretense, promise, or play. Two, I am aimless, restive, stuck between strands of barbed wire. One wrong move, and I risk shredding my back, my mind. I carry little with me. I latch onto dreams, still amorphous, still uh, tickling my eyes into seeing what once was, but now has died. Before my brother passed, he asked me to spread his ashes on the mountainsides. I objected to his cremation, but he insisted his sick body was not worth preserving. 3. The sun at last crests the peaks. I spy formation on the summit, hikers turning witlessly. If only they knew whose bodies they trampled, if only ashes could scream. When the shadows fall, my vision narrows to a thin black line, before and after blur into an inchoate now. I dwell in it as if on my final journey. The way, fraught with peril, remains unknown. At nightfall, I will rouse from my bed and scour the countryside for signs of revelation, direction, the intimate whisper to turn round and repent. No regrets, I told my brother. He nodded, grinned, then violently coughed. And now here's our favorite figure in these poems, the sky, once again. A taste of the sky. And so I became a tree, subterranean roots snaking through the dark toward a living patch of rain. How I plunged my body into it, wrapping cells in sandy soil. I dreamt of one thing only, the taste of the sky, its azure mantle tempting me to soar above a pack of saplings who ridiculed my old world ways. But old is new, new is old. Buds burst into view along the breadth of my branches. I will break into blossom, I said, taking the poet's dictum to embrace the sun, marry the moon, make my homestead among the birds whose songs wake the dawn in blessed cacophony. Like them, I am an expressionist. Emotions dry in my bark, scars crown my brown-green color fields. Nothing grows but love for what is. I laugh and taste the sky. It is salty and warm, just as my father promised. Here's a shorter one now. Who paints the breeze? Um, This one has some movement in it that I hope you can appreciate. Who paints the breeze? A stand of oaks, sambas in the breeze. They whisper the important thing is to move. We hurl ourselves up the hillside, scattering clods and stones beneath a translucent sky. Who saw our struggles then? Who wrote the poem about young love and its endless stages of belief? I say the coup de grace is to be, to sink satisfied and safe into the soil, to smear mud on our faces, to not wash until the fledgling wrinkles crack into a fractured spider's web. When we lassoed the trees, pulling them tight, the evening limbed us as lost children of light. Now I see dimly only what's set before me. My joie de vivre lies buried beneath a mound of quilts. I grasp what shimmers in the dark, and by its glow, bow to the one who paints the breeze. This one has its title from a Van Morrison song, so you'll have to forgive my stealing it from him, but I've always liked the song and the title. Into the Mystic. This paradise is not perfection. Tear up your poem, scatter its petals on the brook that flows past suffering into fire and life. The self is numinous. It reshapes the élan vital. It contemplates death in the restless night. It shoulders dread like a one-armed pack. It stuffs its bag full of time, space, and flesh. It fights mortality like an agonist of spirit. The way forward points downward, forever falling, immersed in dark waters, drawing sustenance from dark roots buried in the earth. Charge them as luminous. Let us learn to live on light. The living flame of love burns away all dross of resentment. You must find the transcendent in the immanent. You must float the currents of ripeness until they decay. The dying are born into light. They touch the fringe of the other world. In light, they carve their totemic vision of the ordinary with sharp white stones. They know Orphic moments. They know the via negativa. Excuse me, I lost my pace there. They know the via negativa. They achieve mystical union. They burn like wildfires. They produce no ash. Now, this is a lovely poem, a beautiful poem about an experience Laura and I had in Rome. It's long, but I hope you enjoy it. It's a little more uplifting than some of these poems have been so far. Being human. Bernini's sculptures strain behind marble masks. Fountains batter our senses, cast their arms around us, squeezing harder, ever jealous of our love. Never has Piazza Navona been so empty. Never have the statues' backs burned green with envy. Never have we ogled their forms for a trace of being human. 2. To live as stone stifles all yearning. Better to drown with the slim volume of Pisan cantos in our pocket, flutes of champagne in hand. And so we read and toast, bestowing honor on Roman ghosts. I see nothing but your alabaster face, beaming like a newborn moon. Your searching eyes bore through me like drills through a mountainside. Rubble rises and reassembles in a haven of living hope. 3. I take your hand heavy with jewels, mount the ring on your finger, the piazza beams and otherworldly light. It shadows our love for the expatriate life. We are one, caught in this instant of time as it disappears into Cupid's night. All right, we are moving on. This one is called Wilderness, and instead of being so much a first person, it's directed to the reader or the hearer, more so than the other poems. Wilderness. Without compass or map, find the pace that pricks your conscience into thinking you've made a pilgrim's progress against the wind. Count the bats as they flee the mouths of caves, swirling clouds in flight. They lasso the fading light, tighten their grip on the night, dip and swoop with delight, burrow toward the break of day. Nature flings its graces in our path. They glimmer like mica and uncut stones. We collect them, set pieces of the land, only to find they do not belong among the living. Only the dead can grasp their shiny surfaces. Tomorrow I will leave the desert for the welcome mat of home. Little will go with me, little will remain, except the emptiness of the seeking self. turning over each rock to catch a lizard scurrying past. Riches embedded in the mind cannot be stolen, only rearranged. I will take the adolescent bat, release him to the moon, then make my dwelling in the first open cave. Sorry about the page turning. It's noisy, unfortunately. All right, here's the grand finale. It's fairly short too. The water turned hope. Angel wings flutter from a mackerel sky. They hover above us, buoyant on the wind. I have been looking up so long, I no longer see the earth below me. All is but an azure wash. I stagger to the edge of a jagged crevasse. One slip and I will fall and fight, then rise alone. Walking never ends. It makes my path. Let sunlight fade into the wondrous dark. I shall not fly again among the feral clouds. They unfurl a canopy of waters to imbibe. My hands work as well as a chalice. I will sip the water turned hope, nestled among these tarnished wings. All right, that concludes my reading. I'll see where Lindsay directs us next.
Thank you so much, Arliss. That was excellent. We've
Thank
had
you. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course. I think one of the most interesting things from my perspective is having worked with you on all of these books over all of these years, watching your poetic forms change. And like no book is like the last book. Uh,
No, that's true.
we have some overlapping themes, but your style is different. You maintain your poetic voice, but you know you're tight in some and loose in some and long in some and short in some, and it's been really fun to watch you experiment with form. So everybody,
Well,
I
thank
encourage
you.
you to have that experience too and get all of Arliss's books because they are, I mean, each of them are profound and each of them are different. I have one more.
They make a good doorstop if you get all five.
I think I've used one from keeping my table from wobbling a couple of times.
Right.
Poetry has many uses.
It does. It does.
I have one final poem for you all, and then we are going to open the floor for a Q&A. So this is Homecoming, which seems appropriate to conclude on. Homecoming. The moon spills its luminous jewels along the side of the road. Light dapples the rocks that splay across grassy knolls. I am walking toward home, ever receding, ever near, mirage of the night, black hole of hopes and dreams. I touch the light behind its closed doors, taste citrus in the wind. My mouth waters at the thought. Why have I left? What awaits beyond the crest of the hills? I stumble on a stone. My eyes water at the pain. Thanks for sharing these poems with us, Arliss. Thanks for writing them.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure, as always.
I am going to stop screen sharing now so we can see everyone.
There you are.
Here we all are. And thank you all so much for putting things in the chat. We've got beautiful. Love that image of the blank white page as the poet's white whale. Love that last poem written and read so well. Almost a universal ode to fathers and sons. Thou to the one who paints the breeze, quite holy indeed.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for those comments.
Yes, thank you all so much.
That's
Um,
right.
would anybody like to kick off our Q&A? I always have some questions, but we love to hear from you first. Natalie.
Hi. So, Arliss, thank you. I enjoyed the reading. One thing that I remember standing out to me as I was as I was reading some of these poems over the summer was that you had some travel poems. It seems like you've traveled around a lot, and as someone who also like enjoys traveling, I like you read Being Human, and that one seemed to fit. One thing I was curious about was I'm always wondering about how to like best, capture the memory of a place after you have been there. So I was wondering, do you ever like when you are at a place take notes about it, or is this all from you going back and thinking and recalling like, what this city looked like, what these, ruins, this landscape, etc.?
That's a good question. I think the answer is maybe not as straightforward as you would like, but when you have a really vivid, intense experience, especially in another country where you are always the minority, all of the details just stand out. They're embedded in you and they go deep. And so I don't really take notes now. I used to. But now I just recall the feeling, the smell, the taste, what you heard, the touch, all through the senses, and then try to put them together in an associative logic, as I call it, that's not really completely straightforward, but expresses what I see as the heart of that experience. Those experiences you can cherish forever as long as your memory holds.
Nice,
So thank you
thanks.
for asking that. And I hope you wind up at Piazza Navona in Rome soon.
One day. Thanks.
Mallory, how about you?
Yes. Well, so when Arliss gave us these poems, I think it was last week or the week before, I really like to go outside and read poetry. I just feel like it makes it a little bit of a more visceral experience being out in nature. But it was a bit cold, and so I did end up just I read inside. But I really just felt the nature coming through in the pages itself, and so that was really quite wonderful. And I was just my question, Arliss, was when you're writing and just seeing like the strong na images of nature coming through here, do you find that you write outdoors or get out does being out in nature kind of uh lend to those descriptions in a way?
That's a good question. It's kind of a complicated answer, but the short answer is no, I don't do that. But what I do when I'm outside in nature is try to be alert to all of its nuances, to the details, uh, to the shifting shapes, the wind, of course, the sky, and all of that. And then when I feel inspired enough, I try to carry what I've taken from that experience onto the page. And then I mean, this always happens, and it probably happens with you writing as well. But the poem takes on a life of its own, and it sort of guides you to the next step. And it can transform or distort your natural experience. Um, but I just like to absorb nature, the Alps, many, meadows in Bavaria, lakes in Bavaria, things of that sort. The busyness of Rome, when you're outside the heart of the city, things of that sort. But good question. Maybe I'll see you in the woods sometime with my pen and notebook, like Dante, lost in the woods.
Love that. Tom,
Go easy, Tom.
we'll get you unmuted.
You you've always been an inspiration to me, Arliss, in the work you've done. And I guess my basic question is because you prefaced this whole gathering by saying that this is your last book. And I guess I just want to be blunt and say why. Is there a reason? Will Meadowlark no longer publish? Or, uh,
Well, they
but
want me to start.
obviously you have the poetic gift that I would hate to think you're setting it aside in any way. But is there a reason why you don't foresee another book?
Well, I mean, I'm not boasting now, but I have 2,200 poems that I've written in the last 6 years. So I can make many more books. But you have I'm contemplative and inward looking, like I'm a Kierkegaardian at heart, as you know. And when you start looking inward, you have to ask, why are you doing this? What's the purpose of it? What drives you to keep doing uh, basically the same thing over and over and over? And I think it's, especially when you're young, it's you're trying to find what you can say to the world. And I think I've said quite a bit in 5 books, and I don't know that I have anything more original to put out there. I mean, I write poems all the time. I've got a lot of new poems. They're different from these poems that I read tonight and that you all read. Uh, what more is, I mean, this can sound a little pessimistic, but what more is there to say? Uh, that haunts me, that question, and so that's why I think probably this will be the end. Uh, but as we all know, never say never. And so who knows? I might surprise you, and Lindsay will once more look at a manuscript and hold her head and sigh, and maybe something beautiful comes out of it. But that's a good question. Maybe we can collaborate.
Yeah.
That would be fun. When you do find the ones that you want to share, you know where to find me.
I know. And I appreciate all that you've done in the through the 5 books. Really outstanding work.
Thank you. We're a good
And
team.
we are a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of nice products to look back on and to share, and this new one added to them. So I really appreciate that, and am very grateful.
Well, it's our pleasure. It really is. Roy, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I do. Arliss, this is in, I find myself siding with Tom, and I think I'll just quote back something you read in one of your poems as
Okay.
you think about what you have to offer the world. Old is new, new is old. You may have this theme of looking inward and trying to discover what does all this mean, which all of us are trying to discover. But each time you write a poem that states things in another way, you're offering some person who hasn't been found the words that inspire them. Uh, you're kind of taking away the option they might have of finding that. So I don't see uh, any repetition or anything in these 5 books that leads me to believe you don't have more to say.
Well, I know I have more to say, but I just wonder if it's worth hearing sometimes. I'll
Um,
take it all under advisement,
all right.
and if you want to slip me a 20 every now and then, that might fuel my thinking a little bit.
Okay.
But thank you. And I want to say to everyone that I hold Roy in eminent respect. He is a great, great poet. He's a great man, brilliant still, with a colorful life full of great accomplishments. And we meet every month to have breakfast now. And we talk and talk and talk, and I'm always enriched and enlightened by what he has to say. So my hat, if I had a hat on, it would be off to you, Roy.
Well, that feeling is mutual. So,
Well, thank you.
That's beautiful. I have two things to say about more Arliss poetry, and then Julie, I see your hand. Um, One, we always make companion chapbooks for Arliss's books. So for the first 25 orders, I think, if Arliss still has 25, you get some more poems. So for those of you itching for more, there are more. And two, Arliss, I was wondering if you still have your website or if you still have another platform that you are publishing your poems that aren't in these books on.
Well, I still have the website, but to be honest, I haven't really done much recently. Yeah, I mean, I'm an old man now, even though I try not to dwell on it. But I mean, a website succeeds only if you renew it every day, really. You've got to have new stuff out there. If the reader comes back to the website and nothing has changed, they lose interest. That's a lot of work for me. Uh, but I uh, I often think about it, and maybe now that you've put me on the spot here. I might put more energy into it.
For
But it
me,
was great while it lasted, and maybe I can revive it.
it was a nice website. Maybe you can at least email us some poems every once in a while, you know?
Okay, right. It's a good idea. I can do that.
Great. Julie,
Hey, I would love to be a fly on that wall of a Davenport Beckemeyer breakfast. So I might have to start checking out the restaurants in town, see if I get lucky. So your journey from journalism to poetry, is there anything that stands out? Anything you miss? Anything you really don't miss? Anything you kind of want to share about that transition that was meaningful?
Well, uh, my journalism story is not conventional. I'll cut it short, but I started out taking state football scores over the phone and then typing them up in the old days when we had manual typewriters uh, to publish them. But what I studied in college was philosophy, and through a good friend of ours, I kind of fell into a job at the Eagle, and like Horatio Algiers, I climbed the ladder without taking 1 minute of journalism. Uh, but I was able to succeed at that. And in a way, they have similarities. The first similarity is you really have to make words count when you write. If you're a good journalist, you'll really try to make them count because readers' attention spans are short. Poem is a lot shorter than a front page story. And you also learn to kind of hone your ideas and try to get them in a good, approachable state so they don't seem didactic or pompous. And journalism teaches you humility every day because you got to start over and make another paper every day. It's always new. It's never the same. And that's a good impetus for writing poems too. Even if you don't like what you've written the next day, it's important to have that habit of, keep writing. I don't know how many times I've been asked at the newspaper, "What have you done for us lately?" I mean, that's the pressure that you're under. You've got to keep delivering every day, and that's good practice for writing poems too. But I think the use of words and ideas link the two vocations. And I was privileged to be able to write a lot of book reviews before I became the book's editor. And that was a good outlet for me too. But that's a good question, and a more typical journalist would have different answers, I'm sure. But thank you for asking it.
do we have any other questions or comments, words of congratulations? Brian.
Yeah, thank you. That was a great reading and really nice to hear from all of the different readers. Alice, could you talk about your writing process? I mean, 2,200 poems
Yeah.
in the last 2 years. Can you just talk about sort of when you do it and how, say, the first draft would compare with a finished poem and your process in writing?
Okay, that's a good question. Thank you. Um, my process has changed dramatically since I first started. Um, I used to write everything out by hand and then, transpose it into TypeScript and then edit it and edit it and edit it to death until I was happy with it. But that was decades ago. Now, basically, I get up early in the mornings now, the older I am, and I just go to my kitchen table, which is my office, uh, and try to sit there until I grasp an image or a metaphor or some thread to pull out of the sky, get that down first, and then shape it up on the computer. So I kind of cut out the transition from longhand to TypeScript. I mean, it's on the computer, so it's not really TypeScript anymore. And the thing I strive for is to use what I call associative logic instead of straightforward linear logic. I look for associations, I look for metaphors, I mean, I'm always looking for natural images. I've written an essay about why the natural image really revitalizes poetry. And then I set it aside and come back to it and say, how ghastly, and rework it until I'm happy with it. But once you get something written that you like, that you think succeeds, that's great inspiration to keep going. So which kind of contradicts my saying, I'm done. But that's how I do it now. Early morning musing until I find a hook, and then work that for all it's worth. And for a small fee, you can come and watch me do that. I hope that answered your question. Thanks for asking it. And he is a very good poet also. He's had some wonderful work and did wonderful work in the prisons as well. So he should be celebrated. Uh, a very good man.
Absolutely. Glad you're here, Brian. We have a whole room full of really incredible poets and people. Do stay tuned for a Brian Daldorf book next year.
Oh, good. Very good.
Um, I have also stuck in the chat just now another book launch recording that we did for Everlasting. So I don't know if your screens notified you right before this, but we did record this, and I will be editing it a little bit and putting it on the Meadowlark YouTube page, and our website and our social media pages, so we can relive this night over and over and over again. I think this feels really good. I always love a night of poetry. Yeah. I obviously know that you do too.
Yeah. And again, I want to thank everyone for coming. And I'd like to know who drove the longest distance to get here.
Well, thank you all so much. Arliss, I'll let you say some final words and then we'll call it a night, folks.
All right. Well, I'll say just a few brief words. When I was 17, starting out as a senior in high school at 17, uh, I was introduced to philosophy in a humanities class that was experimental at the time, and I was also introduced to E. Cummings, and he's the driving force behind my interest in poetry, and I was wowed by everything he could do with language, and I thought, this is what I've got to try. And so since 17 till now, uh, I've been writing, and thanks to Meadowlark, I got a break and have been able to publish my poems. And so I have to look back to that fertile experience as a teenager, not knowing anything, for getting me started on this road. And it still continues right now, apace, at least for an older man. So uh, I'm very grateful for that experience. It really changed my life. Um, what else? Anything else from anybody or from you, Lindsay?
We have your note to the readers. I know that you covered some of that just now, but is there?
Notes to read.
Oh, yeah, I've covered most of it. I'll just say one thing real quickly. All of my books have the same structure. They're divided into four sections, and each section is introduced by a quote or a fragment, so forth. And then the sections are thematic. They have a theme. A lot of times the themes overlap from book to book, but not always. And doing that, you can see a continuity. If somebody were to ask me what's my favorite book that I've written, I would say it's this one. I see this one as sort of a culmination of the first four. They were trying to do in slightly different ways what this book does, uh, improving my poetic diction, my natural imagery, the use of metaphor, and pointing time and time again till maybe readers get tired of it to transcendence and to being with a capital B. I mean, I study philosophy, so I can't really let that stuff go. It's got to be interwoven into poetry somehow. Uh, so that's just one thing I wanted to add. Uh, and I appreciate everyone who reads it and who buys my books. Hint, buys my books. Uh, and it's an honor really to have you out there as my audience tonight. A great audience. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Arliss. We have one more hand raised. Go for it. Oh, let me unmute you.
One more hand.
How's that?
Perfect. We can hear you.
Arliss, I think Dean and I have driven the farthest. We're in Youngstown.
Oh, you have driven the farthest. So glad that you're here. Thank you so much.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, listen, let me tell you, she worked for a half an hour to get here. So let me
Oh,
tell you,
really? Okay.
this wasn't easy, all you other people out
I
there.
know
This
it.
was
I
The
know.
Zoom in Ohio was a little challenging, but we got
yeah,
here.
we thank Laura for inviting us. Go ahead.
Thank you. It was wonderful. It was just wonderful. And we look forward to seeing you on the 13th, or we're coming out the 13th through the 19th.
Okay, great. Well, we'll see you then, but thank you for being here.
Oh,
It's a great
yes.
surprise, a wonderful surprise. Uh, I should have been on better behavior if I knew you were watching.
Oh, no, you were wonderful. As a former speech coach, I give you a 1/100 for the
Oh,
entire.
really?
Yes, yes,
Very good. Can I get a gold star too?
absolutely.
Thank you.
Several.
Thank you. I
All right.
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Lindsay.
Thanks, Lindsay.
This is so special. It
Yeah,
really
it's
is.
very special.
His
So,
fame has reached farther than Youngstown, Ohio now.
That's right.
All right.
very
World
good.
famous.
That's
Very
it.
good.
Yes, yes. Well, fair. Okay, we'll let you go then. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Thank you all so much for coming. And yeah, I don't think we can say that enough. And thank you for supporting Meadowlark. Thank you for supporting Arliss. And please keep doing so. I mean, every reader counts, and it's so nice to know that these books are going into caring hands. And we put so much love and so much time into these books, and so we really, really appreciate
Right.
that other
She's
people
right.
appreciate it on the other end. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And I have to thank Lindsay again because she's tireless in her editing and her questioning of what I've written and trying to improve it and improving the design inside of the book. And we work well together, but she's a good spur for me to improve and to pay attention and not to make too many gaffes. So I really, really appreciate all she's done over these many years together.
You are so welcome, and you have improved my editing skills and my attention to detail as well. And I also studied philosophy, so it's really
Yeah,
nice
she
to
did.
to
Exactly.
get those refreshing poems. Um,
Very
yeah,
good.
all of your poems make me think more, and I think that that's one of the coolest things is when I can't stop thinking about a poem or it inspires me to write something about
Mhm.
this poetic philosophical idea. Uh,
Right.
yeah, it's
Good.
very cool.
Good.
Thank
Glad to
you.
hear it.
Oh, I don't want to leave. We could talk poetry all night.
Yeah.
These are beautiful books, and it has been an honor being the midwife into birthing these books. And maybe we'll see you for book number 6. We'll see.
We'll
We'll see.
see.
We'll keep pestering this guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right already.
Well, I hope you all have a great, safe, and warm night. And yeah, stay tuned on the Meadowlark pages online. Then you'll see this and other events coming up. So, and if you're in the area, tomorrow Meadowlark is hosting an open house
Oh, that's
um,
right.
from essentially 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. So please come say hi. Come see our office. Come meet us. Come get some goodies. Buy some books. We are headquartered in Emporia. So if you feel like coming to Emporia, if you want to make that drive, then you know where to find us.
Okay.
Thank
All
you all
right.
so much. Have a beautiful night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And thank you,
Thank you.
Arliss.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome.
Bye-bye. God
Thanks.
bless you.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Sweet dreams.
Somewhere it says leave, and I don't know what
So-
it is.
Sign on or-
Oh, here, leave. Okay, good.
Okay.
Does she turn it off somewhere?
Perfect.
Right.
Great job, Arliss.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Talk to
Good
you
night.
soon. Bye, Laura. Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.